Johnny Carson was the undisputed king of late-night TV, charming, witty, and unshakable. But what if I told you there were a few guests who made even Johnny lose his cool? Behind the laughter and applause were moments of silent fury, shattered trust, and backstage chaos. From unexpected threats to ultimate betrayals, these were not just bad interviews. They were personal nightmares. In this video, we are counting down the 7 guests who pushed Carson to his breaking point. And trust me, number 7 will shock you. Get ready to see a side of Johnny Carson you have never seen before. Before we dive into video, please subscribe our channel. Johnny Carson was born on October 23, 1925, in Corning, Iowa. A shy kid with a sharp mind, he found his first audience performing magic tricks for family and friends. By age 14, he was the Great Carsoni, amazing locals with sleight of hand. After serving in the Navy during World War II, Carson studied radio and speech at the University of Nebraska. His quick wit and love for entertainment led him to radio, then TV, where his charisma began to shine. Long before he became the face of late night, Johnny was a small-town boy chasing a big-time spotlight and catching it. Now, we talk about 7 guests he hated most. Number 1. Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers started her journey with Johnny Carson in 1965. When she first came on The Tonight Show, she made everyone laugh, including Johnny. He liked her sharp humor and quick thinking. Over the years, Johnny invited her back again and again. She became one of his favorite guests. He even trusted her enough to let her be his main guest host, something he had never done for anyone else. But things changed in 1986. A new TV network called Fox offered Joan her own late-night show. It was a huge opportunity. Joan accepted the offer but did not tell Johnny. She was afraid the deal might fall through if it leaked too soon. So she stayed silent. Johnny found out from the news, not from Joan. He felt hurt and betrayed. He believed that someone he helped build a career had turned her back on him. He refused to take her calls and blacklisted her from The Tonight Show forever. Even after many years, and through many personal tragedies in Joan's life, Johnny never forgave her. This moment became one of the deepest cuts in Johnny Carson's career, and it changed their friendship forever. Number 2. Wayne Newton. Johnny Carson often made jokes during his opening monologue. Sometimes, those jokes were about celebrities. One of his favorite targets was singer Wayne Newton. Johnny once joked that Newton's hair needed sunlight, as if it were a plant. The audience laughed, but Wayne Newton did not. In 1980, Newton decided to confront Johnny in person. He flew to Burbank without warning and walked straight into the studio where The Tonight Show was filmed. Wearing a silk shirt and looking serious, Newton marched into Johnny's office. He leaned over Johnny's desk and quietly said, "If you ever call me a joke again, I will show you the punchline." Johnny, who was not used to direct threats, sat still and stayed silent. After Newton left, Johnny reportedly sat frozen for a full minute before speaking. That night, all jokes about Wayne Newton were removed from the show. From that day on, Carson avoided making fun of Newton. He even required special contracts before inviting Newton back as a guest. The man known for fearless comedy suddenly became cautious. One strong confrontation had silenced the sharpest tongue in late-night TV. It showed that even Carson had limits behind his calm smile. Number 3. Bob Hope. Bob Hope was one of the biggest stars in television history. He was loved by the public and seen as a legend by NBC, the same network that aired The Tonight Show. Because of this, Bob Hope appeared on Johnny Carson's show many times. But behind the scenes, Johnny was not happy. Hope never came to the show without a plan. His team would send pages of jokes, questions, and even instructions for camera shots. Everything was carefully written in advance. Johnny Carson liked to keep things natural and funny, with real conversation and surprise. But when Hope was a guest, it felt more like reading a script than having a real talk. During the show, Hope looked at cue cards, not at Johnny. He ignored Johnny's new questions and went back to his planned lines. Even worse, he used the show to promote his own specials and sponsors. In one episode, he mentioned Texaco 3 times in 7 minutes. Johnny joked about it, but the frustration was clear. After the show, he said he felt like a warm-up act for a company. Still, NBC forced Johnny to keep inviting hope, even if the spark between them had long faded. Number 4. Don Rickles. Don Rickles was known for his loud, fast, and sharp insult comedy. He made fun of everyone: audience members, other guests, even Johnny Carson himself. At first, Johnny enjoyed playing the straight man while Rickles made everyone laugh. But over time, Rickles pushed the limits too far. In 1976, Rickles was guest hosting The Tonight Show. During that time, he accidentally broke Johnny's favorite wooden cigarette box. Johnny did not know until he returned the next night. On live television, Johnny stopped the show and walked over to the set where Rickles was filming another show. He surprised Rickles and said, "You broke my box." The audience laughed, but Johnny's face showed real irritation. Rickles often ignored time cues, went off topic, and joked about things that NBC did not allow. One time, he made fun of an audience member's weight, and many people complained. After that, Carson gave Rickles new rules: no personal attacks, no sensitive jokes, and stay within time. Even with these limits, Rickles still caused chaos. Johnny respected him, but the stress was real. Behind the smiles and laughs, Carson knew one thing: Rickles was best in small doses, never too often, or the show could spin out of control. Number 5. Fred Rogers. Fred Rogers, the host of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, was known for his soft voice, kind heart, and slow way of speaking. When he was invited to The Tonight Show, producers thought it would be a sweet and relaxing moment for the audience. But things did not go as planned. From the moment Fred walked on stage, the difference in energy was clear. He smiled gently and took his time saying hello. Johnny Carson made a joke about wearing sneakers, just like Fred. Fred replied kindly, but left a long pause afterward. The audience waited for a punchline, but none came. Johnny tried to guide the interview with funny questions, but Fred gave serious answers. He told a story about a child who was afraid of bathtub drains. His words were thoughtful, but very slow. On a fast-paced late-night show, it felt like time had stopped. The audience laughed a little, but the energy dropped. After the show, producers noticed the ratings dipped during Fred's segment. Even though many parents sent letters saying they loved seeing him, Johnny learned a lesson. Fred Rogers was a wonderful man, but his quiet style did not fit the world of fast jokes and quick laughs. Number 6. Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston was a famous actor known for big roles in movies like Ben-Hur and The 10 Commandments. He was also a serious man who loved deep thoughts, history, and politics. When he came to The Tonight Show, Johnny Carson expected short stories and light conversation. But Charlton had a very different style. When Johnny asked a simple question like, "Did you ever get hurt while filming a chariot scene?" Charlton would take 5 minutes to answer. He started by talking about his childhood, his time at Yale, and the meaning of art. By the time he got to the actual answer, the audience had already lost interest. During commercial breaks, Charlton kept talking, adding more details off camera. He quoted books and asked Johnny to visit a museum. Johnny liked quick jokes and back-and-forth fun. With Charlton, the energy dropped and the audience laughed less than usual. After one slow episode, Johnny's team made rules. Charlton could only stay for 8 minutes, and no long speeches or political talks were allowed. Johnny respected him, but also knew that if Charlton spoke too long, the show would lose its spark, and maybe even its viewers. Number 7. Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra was one of the biggest stars in the world. When he came to The Tonight Show, everyone treated him like royalty. He arrived with bodyguards, friends, and even special requests. His team asked for the room to be cooler, a teleprompter for lyrics, and space for 12 people on the side of the stage. Johnny Carson usually ran a tight show, but for Sinatra, he said yes to everything, even if it annoyed him. One night in 1976, while Johnny was telling jokes during his monologue, Sinatra walked onto the stage without warning. The crowd stood and clapped for 40 seconds. Johnny smiled, but inside he was not happy. He asked, "Do you need the whole show, Frank?" Sinatra just winked. Johnny stayed calm on camera, but behind the scenes, he was stressed. He poured himself an extra drink and said quietly, "It is Frank's world. We just film in it." He wanted to avoid drama, so he never asked Sinatra hard questions. He only spoke about safe topics like old memories. Even though ratings were high, Carson did not enjoy those nights. He felt like a guest on his own show, while Sinatra took the spotlight and the control. Johnny Carson mastered the spotlight, but even legends have limits. These 7 guests tested his patience, professionalism, and pride. Behind every smile was a story untold until now.